I'm Molly.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Jen.
And welcome to Folks Forever, a Lois and Clark rewatch podcast.
We're three fans who've been loving LNC since 1993.
Each week we'll recap one episode and talk about at least one LNC related topic.
If you would like to learn more about who we are, how we became folks, and or how we became friends, check out our intro episode.
Today we're going to be discussing Season 1, Episode 20, Barbarians at the Planet. We'll also be talking about the time we all saw Terry Hatcher performing on stage in real life in the Addams Family. Woohoo!
Still can't believe we did that.
That was so much fun.
Have you been watching anything recently? Any new shows or movies you want to, what's the word?
You're going to say
Spread
plug?
the love on? Promote?
I have been watching, obviously, Stranger Things because it just ended. Did you guys ever watch it?
Only a few episodes.
I watched the first season and then it got a little sci-fi for me. I mean, it is sci-fi in the first place, but it just got a little it went deeper than I'm willing to go.
It's very sci-fi, but it was cool. It had a good ending. I liked it.
We just had Christmas at the time of this recording, and so I kind of just did my Christmassy movies that I typically watch, but other than that, I have not been watching anything. I've had time.
I watched some Disney Plus, so I think I watched Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Encanto. I mean, I've seen them all before, but it's fun to just blast through them.
Weirdly enough, I've been on vacation for almost 2 weeks now, and I haven't really watched that much. You'd think I would have, but I don't know where I've spent all my time because I've done nothing. But it's been great. It's been great doing nothing.
You're working on the podcast. We see you.
I mean,
yeah, that I did do. I spent a lot of time. I can't believe we're almost to the end of season 1.
Barbarians at the Planet first aired on May 1st, 1994. I haven't talked about music in a few episodes, so I thought I would bring that back and tell you about what was going on in May 94. So Ace of Base's The Sign was #1 in the US, #1 pop song. #2 was Mr. Jones by Counting Crows. And also topping the charts, you had Baby I Love Your Way by Big Mountain. That was the reggae version, which appeared on the Reality Bites soundtrack. The Most Beautiful Girl in the World by the artist sometimes known as Prince. And Mariah Carey's Without You. In the UK, the #1 song was Tony DeBart's The Real Thing, followed by The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. Sweets for My Sweet by CJ Lewis. By Crash Test Dummies, and Inside by Stiltskin. Somewhat new to the charts, you had Melissa Etheridge's Come to My Window, I Swear by All for One, and the song that some say is synonymous with the mid-90s, Dreams by the Cranberries.
That was used in the You've Got Mail soundtrack, but also a great song.
Ace of Base, that song gets stuck in my head. So thanks for that.
The Sign.
We'll probably be singing that.
I always think of Stephanie Tanner with Gia and the girl talk. Yeah.
Yes.
So funny.
They were so cool though, man. Every LNC episode had a title. The title Barbarians at the Planet is a play on the title of a 1989 nonfiction book and later a 1993 TV movie titled Barbarians at the Gate. The book was written by investigative journalists Brian Burrow and John Hellier, and it centers on an attempted buyout of the Nabisco Company. It was a real-life event. Before we get into our synopsis of the episode, we are going to give our very own summaries in 16 words or less. Mine is, Lex embarks on a multi-step plan. 1, ruin lives. 2, claim Lois. 3, kill Superman. I also had an alternate one, which was very short, but it was Lex traumatizes Lois into agreeing to marry him.
Oh, that's actually really...
It's true, though.
Yeah. I can't speak. It's so true.
Oh.
What about you, Jen?
Well, reading this back, I'm surprised that I didn't mention anything about Clark in mine. The fact that he professed his love. But mine is, Lex tries to win Lois's heart by buying the planet, then gutting the entire paper.
And mine is, Lex proposes, Clark professes his love, Lois has a choice and makes the wrong one.
100%.
So this episode I absolutely remember watching when it originally aired, and I was so into it, this and the next one. They are, I'm pretty sure, the ones that finally definitely hooked me. They were so exciting. They kind of had a soap opera sort of intrigue to them. A whole bunch of fun stuff happens, and yeah, by the time House of Luther was over, I was like, when can I watch the next episode? My other memory of this episode is my brother and I, once again, quoting. Our favorite quote from this episode was Jimmy's, "Happy days are here again."
Woohoo!
I love that you and your brother quoted this show as often as you did because
Woo!
now I'm listening to the lines like the things that he said in the last episode, something, something, you are my son, and all these things. I think about you and your brother now. And
Yeah,
I feel like I remember you guys doing that once when I was over there,
you never
but
know.
who knows?
What about you, Julie? What are your memories?
I remember really being excited for this episode. And when it ended, just the anxiety that I had waiting for the next episode with that stupid to be continued. I was so mad. I'm like, what are you thinking, girl? No. And just, don't do it. That's the only thing I really remember is just anxiety.
How about you, Jen?
Well, I think I wore out the tape rewatching this because Clark confessing his love to Lois. I know it ended in such a way that was maybe slightly discouraging for me at the time, but I do remember having so much hope the first time around. It was just clear that they were going to have some big storyline after this, and I just didn't know what it was going to be, but I was excited and I couldn't get enough, so I would rewatch over and over and like guess in my head.
Yeah, it's very interesting how everything unravels to such a depressing degree. Then, we know, I mean, I hope that you had this hope too, that like if it can unravel so fast and get so awful, it can go right back up in the next episode just as quickly and they can
Yeah.
resolve it in
Hmm.
45 minutes, whatever they did. I hope.
She's gonna
Yes.
change her mind. She's gonna.
She's gonna change her mind. She's the planet is somehow gonna get fixed. Maybe she and Clark will get
Yeah.
together. Clark will push Lex out of the way and be like, "Oh, I'll marry you." And then no, it
Push
doesn't go that far, but
push him off the building.
Jen, will you tell us about some of the guest stars that are in this episode?
Well, the most important one is Chris Demetral, and we've covered him before, so I won't go into it, but Jack is back. We also have Patrick Kilpatrick, which that's a name. He plays Devane. He's best known for Minority Report, Last Man Standing, Dark Angel, 24, and Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. We also have Castulo Guerra, played Steven Sanchez. He is best known for Terminator 2 Judgment Day, The Usual Suspects, and The Mexican.
I know him as the grandpa in Jane the Virgin. Did you guys ever watch that show? Oh, it's
No, not
such a
really.
good show. You should watch it.
Okay. Well, I've heard that before, so I should probably give it a
He was
try.
also on Get Real for a couple episodes. He showed up and I was like, "Oh, hey. I remember he looks familiar."
We also have Beverly Johnson, played Mrs. Cox. She is best known for Loaded Weapon 1, Martin. She played Kit's mom in Crossroads. Good movie, by the way. Awful good movie. She also comes back in the next episode, The House of Luther.
She was mainly known for modeling in the beginning. She was the first Black woman ever to grace the cover of Vogue magazine.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Alex Neville played Chip. He is best known for Star Trek, Cabin Boy, 2 episodes of Cheers, Shaky Ground, and Molly, My Girl Too. I didn't
Only
know he was in that,
he doesn't have any lines or anything.
but I mean, he was on the screen. So,
Technically in there.
so we also have Darby Hinton, played the fire chief. He is best known for Daniel Boone, Once Upon a Hero, Malibu Express, and Christmas Wishes and Mistletoe. And finally, we have Barbara Beck, played Sandra Ellis. She hasn't done a lot, but was in Independence Day and she had a few other credits, including Lois and Clark. And she was also on the KTLA Morning News.
Yeah, I wondered if they actually went to KTLA to film those scenes in LNN because it was like a whole new set that looked very real looking. And since she
Hmm.
was working at KTLA anyway, hmm,
Yeah.
Maybe.
Can you imagine having to recreate that?
He
No, they
probably
would
just
have had
went.
to. I would put money on it. Yeah.
right. And there's a scene later, like when they're in the printing room with Jack and Jimmy and stuff. That was obviously they had to go to like the
uh,
LA Times or somewhere.
Something.
They would have filmed it. Yeah,
Mhm.
well. All right, well, let's get into the episode. We begin in a dark warehouse where men with flashlights are shouting back and forth and clearly searching for something. They're opening wooden boxes with crowbars. We see a box labeled Smallville 1966, and if you've been watching the show, you know what that means. It's got to have something to do with Clark. A man opens this box and pulls out a large glowing rock and smiles. It's Kryptonite. Dun 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 dun. Oh no. Cut to an airplane flying in the sky and a violin playing. It's Lex's private little seaplane, I guess, and he and Lois are on some kind of date. It sounds like they just went to Italy, but like, why are they on a slow-moving seaplane at this moment? Questions abound. Out of seemingly nowhere, though, Lex pulls out a ring and proposes to Lois. She is stunned. And so are we, the audience, going, wait, were they dating? Because
What?
what? What's happening right now? She says, I don't know what to say. Lex tells her there are three possible choices yes, no, and maybe. Lois tells him it's not that simple. What about her life at the planet? Perry, Clark, Jimmy, they're like family. No problem, Lex says. He believes in families, large ones, in fact. And I remember watching this with my friend circa 1994 and her just going, ew, I believe in families, large ones. Ew.
No.
No, not with you, Lex.
Like, why does she think that ultimately means that she has to quit the planet and like lose all of her friends just because she might get married? I thought that was a little weird.
I was wondering the same thing. Yeah.
Just because he's rich,
There
maybe?
was still a little bit of that in the 90s, and I mean, it's not completely gone, where it's like, okay, you
Yeah.
work if you have to, but if you don't have to, maybe you don't.
You
And
stay
if he's
home.
like rich and she wouldn't have to, but we know Lois, she has to.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think she wants to make that clear that she's not going to be like his like wifey wife kind of thing.
Little side piece. Yeah.
No. I just think it was the norm at the time to kind of expect that and she's pushing back. So
I noticed that the windows on that private plane are very dirty, just like Lois's aquarium.
Somebody and
and
her
her
cabinets.
cupboards.
Yeah.
They have,
Her cabinets.
I remember I used to think with this episode that what they were saying here was that now I'm going back a little bit, but that they had flown to Italy and were now flying back. But after seeing the plane that they're in, I know that that's not possible. So this sort of bugs me. Any thoughts on what this situation is? Did they go away
Yeah.
for a weekend?
I didn't know if I should bring this up now, but
Do
that
it.
was gonna put this in part of my goofs because I'm very confused. This was a surprise dinner in Italy. They would have had to have left in the morning. He would have had to call her, "Hey, we're going to Italy," because you don't just get there in like an hour. And wouldn't she need a
Oh.
passport?
yeah.
You can't just get on a plane and surprise somebody and take them to Italy. They've had to
Unless it's Lex and he's like
They'd be on a
so
plane for
rich.
like 16 hours. What is it, like 8 hours and then 8 hours back?
But it
Yeah.
sounds
Good morning.
romantic.
We're going to Italy for dinner. Grab your passport.
Get ready to watch 6 movies in a row next to somebody. No, not Lex.
Ugh.
It's just interesting. Anyways, where am I? Proposal. Oh yes, of course. We're us. That's where we are. Lois is still stammering and says,
Lex, the last few weeks with you have been wonderful. I hardly know you.
The only thing you have to know about me is that I love you.
This is not the only thing you need to know about him. Do not listen to that. You need to know many more things about him. Do not listen.
You do not marry somebody just because they love you. No, girl. No.
Oh.
No. Uh-uh.
Lois appears to be deep in thought. And Lex presses her, asking if there's something else on her mind, because it's kind of obvious there is. Would it have anything to do with Superman? Lois doesn't admit it, but yeah, Superman. She manages to bypass his question, though, and answer, "It's just a lot to take in." "But you'll give it some thought?" asks Lex. And he gets her to finally give an answer of maybe. Lex then feeds Lois a really gross line about the ring. "Without you, it's a piece of rock. On your hand, it's priceless to me." And then the plain phone rings. It's the guy from the warehouse. "Your information was accurate, Luthor. I have the kryptonite. Devane," that's this guy, "will deliver it when he gets back to Metropolis. Price, $5 million. Lex agrees to the sale, then hangs up the phone and says quietly to himself,
Priceless.
so he's got one rock for Lois and one rock he's saving.
2 rocks.
Yikes.
2 rocks.
After the credits, we're at the Daily Planet in the lobby. Lois and Clark are coming into work, and Clark has bet that Lois can't name all of Santa's reindeer. Lois names as many as she can, but she only gets 7 out of 8, and Clark tells her she owes him $5.
All right, that's $5. $5. Get it? $5.
Haha, okay, just tell me the name.
Vixen.
She rolls her eyes, but smiles at his corny joke and says, "Double or nothing." As they prepare to get on the elevator, Clark challenges her to name the 7 dwarfs. Meanwhile, a man is trying to light a cigarette. Clark uses his super breath to blow it out repeatedly, blow out the little flame on his lighter. As they step into the elevator, Lois ends up snatching the cigarette out of the guy's mouth and throwing it out of the elevator door, just as Clark tells her the name of the one dwarf she couldn't remember the name of. Bashful. Julie actually pointed out many episodes ago that this scene was originally written for "I've Got a Crush on You." They cut it from that one, and it ended up here.
Yeah, and did you see the magazine, or did you hear about what the magazine title was that Clark got? I thought that
The
was
Flying Magazine.
Flying Magazine. I thought that was very interesting.
Oh.
Makes sense.
Yeah, apparently Clark often gets this magazine, and the newsstand guy has it for him. It's funny. Up in the newsroom, there's something going on. We learn that Jimmy and some of the others have tried to cash their latest paychecks, but that they have bounced. And apparently, this is not the first time it's happened. It's clear from this whole thing that the Daily Planet is in trouble. Workers are asking Perry for answers, but he does not have them. The higher-ups haven't told him much. Except that, well, there's been some talk of layoffs. In the very next scene, Jimmy and Jack are handed pink slips. Yikes. And that was quick. Jack! We cut to Lex's penthouse, where he's sipping orange juice and chatting with a beautiful woman, who we will later learn is Mrs. Cox. In this conversation, Lex says, "Metropolis won't be Metropolis without the Daily Planet." Wait, what? What's he gonna do? Mrs. Cox asks him, "How will this affect your proposal to Lois Lane?" Lex answers, "Well, it's designed to help."
If you wish to utterly defeat a battlefield opponent, you must destroy their support systems, their allies, and any avenue of retreat.
So Lex has this whole abusers/conquerors playbook that he is using, and I hate that it works on every step of the way. It works, and it's gross. Ugh.
Yep.
So a video call then comes in for Lex. It's once again Devane, the guy with the kryptonite. He's ready to make delivery. Also noted here, Lex has a video conferencing situation going on, which is pretty cool for 1994.
He can FaceTime.
Yeah, I was not clear if Devane could
Early
see
on the
Lex
trend.
or if they could see each other, but he can definitely see Devane because Lex, asks to see the kryptonite, and Devane pulls it out, and we hear the sound and the glowing green, and Lex and Lex and Mrs. Cox are looking at it like it's the best, and says Lex, "I want it."
What are your thoughts on why it's Mrs. Cox and not Nigel or Asabi?
That's what I was just going to ask.
not available for these two episodes? Or they really wanted a female
Possibly
in
not
there to
available.
like,
The female, because it is more noticeable in the next episode
yeah,
when Lois and Mrs. Cox are in the same room, and there's this definite like feminine about to attack each
tension.
other energy going
Yeah.
on.
Hmm.
Tension, there it
Yeah.
is. Yes. I think
It
it
worked.
really works
Yeah,
here.
it worked for sure.
I liked the addition. I just wondered, they didn't explain it. They didn't say, oh, Nigel's, doing this, or Asabi is whatever. And it seems like it's pretty much the same job description. So I made a question. Where did she come from? Why is she there and not Nigel? So
Yeah, I have many questions about her even into the next episode that don't really get answered, and we can talk about them, you know. Back at the Daily Planet, Jimmy and Jack are still processing their pink slips / layoffs. Jack jokes, well, I guess it's back to a life of crime for me. It's always good to have something to fall back on. Lois gives him a look. Clark gives him a very gentle punch / nudge. Clearly, Jack is joking, or at least we hope he is.
I sure hope so.
A Daily Planet staffer named Steve walks by. He's just gotten laid off too. We've never seen him before, but it's implied that he's been around a while. He sounds like he is about to cry. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? The gang remark about how this all seems to be happening so fast. Then Lois says she's been talking to people in other departments and that the consensus is that they, the employees, may need to take drastic action, such as a walkout or strike. And she says, I, for one, refuse to accept these indignities lying down. And then she turns back, sees Jimmy maybe about to say something snarky, and says, don't even think about it. This might be a good time to point out, I mean, we mentioned in our last episode that Kat is no longer with us on the show, but apparently Kat Grant was written into these episodes originally when Tracy, we believe, chose not to participate in Barbarians at the Planet or House of Luthor. Some of her lines were reassigned to other characters, and although I don't know which ones exactly, I'm pretty sure this was one of them because this feels a lot more like a Cat line than a Lois line.
Mhm.
And Kat would be the one going around to the different departments and getting everybody, collected. That doesn't really seem like something Lois would do, so.
There was a lot with Jimmy in the script that I have. Jimmy actually is like, this could turn out to be a good thing. I guess he had a roommate back in reform school, and they have this plan to start this business, a day in the life of you, where they like video, not like a wedding or a bar mitzvah or anything. They video just like your everyday, normal, boring stuff. And they think they're gonna make
Oh, he's a YouTuber.
it.
Great.
Yeah, he's
Like
he's an
reality
influencer.
TV.
And he says he's been saving up money to start this business and he wants them all to come work for him. Yeah, sure, Jimmy.
Interesting.
Over by the coffee pots, a little while later, Lois and Clark are talking, and Lois asks Clark if he thinks about the future much. As their conversation continues, it's clear Lois wants to tell Clark that Lex proposed to her, but she's struggling with how to say it. Meanwhile, in the background, Jimmy looks like he's asleep at his desk. He's got his eyes closed and his head just laying on his hand, which I never have noticed before this time I watched him, going, Jimmy, are you just really sad back there? What?
Poor
Anyway,
guy.
back to Lois. Before she can even get it all out, she's about to say that Lex, yeah. Well, she says something to the effect of, I know I'm not the kind of woman that this normally happens to. And she's just feeling like it's a weird thing, but she wants to tell Clark just to get it out. We don't think she's seriously considering it at this point, but before she can say the words, we hear a ding of the elevator, and out walk another group of unwanted people. Security, Willie. Oh, he's probably got fired. Anyone? Nope.
Willie's
Okay.
been arrested.
Willie lost his job.
He's been arrested. He's gone.
He was one of the first to lose his job.
So here we go again. It is Lex, Mrs. Cox, and a bunch of other fellow suits. Lex begins addressing the entire newsroom, and it's funny at this point in the background, also notice this time Jimmy's head, like, well, actually, before that happens, Perry comes around, he says, I have word that an announcement is coming up. And that precedes this elevator thing. Well, as soon as he says that, Jimmy like opens his eyes and looks around like embarrassed. Watch for that next time. It's funny.
That's funny.
So Lex is here. He is addressing the entire newsroom. He goes on about how he knows they've been having all these recent financial difficulties. Blah, blah, blah. Cut to a reaction shot of the rest of them. Everybody else is mesmerized by what Lex is saying. And Clark just has this look of, oh, shit, no. He looks so just crap right now. Oh my goodness. What word would you use to describe his face right here?
Dumbfounded. I don't know.
Mortified.
Mortified.
Kicked in the face.
Like, whatever face you would have if, say, you were proposing to someone and just at that moment, a clown danced by. He's like, no, 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 no. This is the last person I want to see right now. Why is he here? Why is he saying all this? Anyway, Lex says he doesn't know why the Daily Planet is struggling, but it's a great newspaper, and therefore he's going to save it because he bought the darn thing. There will now be no layoffs, and he promises to make very few changes and says, why tamper with greatness? Which he is supposedly alluding to the Daily Planet's greatness, but you actually know he's probably being like, I'm the greatest. We do not like him. We do not like him.
No.
Q cheers from just about everyone at the planet. Yay! And Jimmy does his happy days are here again thing. Of course, not Clark, though. He is not happy. Also, I did notice in this scene, Jack isn't here, even though, why? Because Jimmy's still here, even though they both got laid off. Jack's not here. And then I got to thinking about it and I looked it up. Kristen Mistral was still only 17 when they filmed these, so there would have been a very few, like, hour limiting things, I think, for 17-year-olds back then.
The law.
Yeah. So that's why I think he's not in
they
this
can only
scene.
work so long.
Yeah, and then the next one where Jimmy's leaving with his boxes of stuff from his desk, Jack's not in that scene either. I think they had to save it for, his he has a few good scenes later anyways. I keep getting sidetracked here. Oh my gosh. As the crowd disperses, Lois says to Clark about, Lex buying the Daily Planet, isn't this wonderful? Clark answers, it's a disaster. Lois asks when Clark is going to give up the idea that Lex is the root of all evil in Metropolis. Clark responds, he won't because it's true. Lois says it's not true and to give Lex some credit. And
not to mention, he asked me to marry him.
And the camera lingers on Clark's shocked Pikachu face as we go to commercial.
So sad. Yeah.
He asked you to what now? No.
Oh,
Bad.
My heart broke for him in this scene.
No.
Because he loves her so much. And then to have the guy that his arch nemesis, basically, swoop in and take the woman that he loves.
The next day, Perry enters his office to find Lex sitting at Perry's desk, smoking a cigar. Lex is like, hey, hope you don't mind. My office won't be ready for a bit, and I needed to make some phone calls. There's another guy in the room, and Lex introduces him to Perry. This is Chip Peterson, a recent graduate of Harvard Business School who's very interested in journalism. And he's going to be the very new supervising editor-in-chief. It takes Perry's brain a minute to process this, but as soon as he realizes that Lex has made a guy who's barely older than Jimmy, his new boss, he's pissed. He ends up physically removing Chip from the room and then laying into Lex.
Why don't you just get the hell out of my office and stay out?
Lex is loving this. It's all part of his sick plan, and it's working beautifully, so why wouldn't it be? But he has the line, Perry, you're overreacting, which is just, ugh. It's so classically just ew. Lex
Mhm.
smilingly encourages Perry to give it time. They'll eventually all learn to work together. Think of this as our honeymoon period. And Perry, who is now very much regretting any part he had to play in mixing up that gum tea orange concoction back in Fly Hard, says very matter-of-factly, why don't we just think of this as our divorce period? Perry then grabs a framed Elvis picture off his wall and leaves, slamming the door. As he heads toward the elevators, he's intercepted by Lois, who asks where he's going and if he's all right. No, says Perry, I am not all right. And if you have a problem, take it up with your new owner and his supervising editor-in-chief, Chip. The elevator doors close. Lois hardly knows what to make of what just happened. Then Jimmy comes by holding a box of stuff. He's headed down the elevators too, because it turns out he's been reassigned, he and Jack. They're no longer laid off, but they're going to be working in the printing department starting tomorrow.
Nobody wants to go to the printing department. So a little while later, Lex approaches Clark's desk and returns the article Clark submitted about rate hikes at Metropolis Electric. Lex praises his writing, but suggests that it's too controversial to publish. When Clark defends his article and asks if he's not publishing it because Lex is on the board of directors for Metropolis Electric, Lex takes offense, accusing Clark of being completely unprofessional. Jack overhears the conversation as he's walking by and says,
Who died and made you king?
I love how brave and unfazed Jack is always towards Lex, but not really a good idea here. It's gonna come back and bite him. For sure. Because Lex comments, the boy has courage. Hope it doesn't get him into too much trouble. Uh-oh.
Big shame if anything were to happen to him energy here.
Yeah. Clark, still angry that his article has been denied, asks Lex if that's how it's going to work from now on. Free press is free only to do your bidding. Lex tells him that if he doesn't feel free enough here, then he is free to leave. Ouch. Lex would be thrilled if he left. For sure.
Yeah.
That's what he wants.
It's part of the plan. Yeah.
He should just walk out. I think he's just hoping that Lex will be gone. That it won't last. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because there's no way he would stay.
I mean, it's only been like one day.
Yeah, there's no way. After witnessing Perry, Jimmy, and Clark's distress, Lois goes to speak with Lex. Lex says that he's doing his best and plans on getting everyone's jobs back when he can, and that he's sure that he will eventually earn Clark's trust, that she just needs to trust him and give him a chance. No.
He's making excuses for everything.
Yes, he's very good about having an excuse for every single issue, and every single time somebody's upset with him, there's always a reason.
And deflecting it. Yep. Always, you're overreacting, or you're acting unprofessional, or I expected more from you. Yeah. Is this the part where Lois says Perry won't accept this?
Yes. That he wants the workload.
Lex says something like, Perry will enjoy life for once, which is like a, what? What do you mean Perry didn't enjoy life? Very subtly suggesting that Perry wasn't even happy at the Daily Planet or something. Like, it's not even true. Lois doesn't seem to catch that. And she says, when she says that Perry won't accept this, he'll quit. You know what? I think Perry already has.
I'm pretty sure he already quit. He took his Elvis picture. He left the Elvis box though, whatever that was from Fly Hard. He's gonna come back for the Elvis
he left
box.
a few other pictures on the wall. Who knows? He's gone though. I'm pretty sure he's gone. He's not coming back. He's definitely not there in a few minutes when the thing happens. So.
Yeah, he's definitely already quit. So then Lois approaches Clark's desk, determined to assure him that everything will be okay. However, Clark, in a fit of anger, dismisses her as a prize-winning investigative journalist who is completely blind and clueless about Lex Luthor.
How can you be so blind, Lois? I mean, you look right at the guy and still you don't have a clue who he really is.
Or is he talking a little bit about himself here?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't think he even
How can you be
realizes
so
it.
blind?
I don't think he
You look
realizes.
right at the guy
Yeah.
and still you have no idea who he really is.
Yep.
Or come
That's
on.
artistic writing right there. Good job, writers.
Yeah, double meaning, love it.
Lois then sits down and explains that she is not naive. She acknowledges that she knows Lex did not achieve his success through kindness, but highlights all the positive contributions he's made to society. She also reminds him that he recently saved their jobs. They should be thanking him. Despite Lois's efforts to reason with him, Clark remains steadfast in his belief that he is a monster, and his kind acts are all a cover-up, and he just enjoys getting away with it. It's true. Lois, having reached her breaking point, decides to leave, stating that she will not sit there and listen to that, especially since Lex had proposed to her and she is still contemplating whether to accept. No, Lois, no.
Think about it.
In the script, it says, you see that he's holding a spoon in this scene. In the script, it says he crushes the spoon into a lump of metal.
Oh,
Oh,
I was like,
that would have been
oh, they
funny.
didn't do that. That would have been cool.
I mean, we can
Yeah.
tell he's mad.
I think he's more hurt than mad. Just, she's not listening. He clearly
Yeah.
loves her, and she's making a very bad decision. Like, listen to your best friend. Come on. So now we go into Smallville. Yay. Clark tells his parents about the proposal. He doesn't really believe she will say yes, but he's clearly very worried about it. He admits to them that he has realized that Lois is the one he wants to spend the rest of his life with and that he loves her. Martha and Jonathan smile. Hello, duh. They've known this for a very long time. They convince him that he needs to tell her. Martha's adorable. I have to say that every
They're so
time. I
cute.
love Martha. She is so cute. So Clark says, tell her what? That I'm Superman? And Jonathan says, that's got to be up to you. At least tell her how you feel. And Martha, love her, says, shouldn't take her too long to figure out you're no ordinary guy. Back at the Daily Planet, Clark attempts to talk to Lois, but she's preoccupied ordering something from a catalog. She is spatting off some crazy long dialogue with numbers and letters, and good grief, this had to be horrific to memorize with no cuts. Poor Terry. Yikes.
I mean, maybe it was on her
You have
monitor
a
right there, but still, yeah, it's very impressive.
This is actually.
you have a blooper from the
I
dailies,
do have a
right?
blooper from the dailies of this, and this scene right here is probably one of my absolute favorite bloopers from Terry because it's hilarious. Because the dialogue is so crazy long and numbers and letters and zero cuts during the whole thing, so she had to memorize the whole thing. And at the very end, she forgets the very last line and just cusses, and it's hilarious, and I love it. And I will have to share that on our socials because it's so
Yes, we'll put that
it's
up.
so funny. But anyway, Clark gives up and says they'll talk later. Can you recite that whole thing? Yeah.
Trace lines? Absolutely not.
No,
Can
not
you?
that one. I could probably get pretty close, but not the numbers.
Oh
No.
my gosh.
No.
Ugh.
I can quote pretty much most of these episodes, but not that one. Not that scene. Mm-mm. No, no, thank you.
Wow.
It's good. It's good acting on her part and all that, but then with Clark in the background looking so hopeful and
Like,
then so sad and rejected, it's oops. I don't like.
yeah,
I don't like it.
he's finally found the courage to go up to her and say what he wants to say, and she's just too busy ordering
Mhm.
pants or a shirt or whatever it is that she's ordering. And he's like, dang it, okay, I'll have to wait.
You kind of wonder if maybe he could at least considered calling her up first thing in the morning or walking into work with her and doing it, but like lost his nerve and now he's finally gotten it and she will not even put down the phone. So
No, and she's kind of mad at him right now too. So I don't know that she really wants to
Mhm.
talk to him at this point.
maybe you're right. Maybe she just thinks he's gonna harp on her again. She really wants that, whatever it was. What was it she was ordering? I forgot.
kid's pants. I don't know. It was a size 7B. I know that. Whatever it was. Maybe it was a suit.
Oh, so it might have been a dress.
Yeah, a dress or a suit, maybe. I don't know. The script said 6B and she said 7B, so I don't know.
Sizing. She's petite. She's
She's
little.
tiny.
She would be
Could have been
a
shoes.
2 or 3.
A B?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. What is B though?
Like for B would be like the wider version, or there's like an alternate version, size 7B. Yeah. Yeah, it would be W, wouldn't it? Lois, what were you ordering? You didn't get it anyway.
Yeah, what would
Your
the
purse is about to blow up. I don't know. Just gonna have to get new credit
What does
cards.
the B
Yeah,
stand
because
for?
usually it's an M or an S, like short, medium, long,
I think it
L.
means bosomy.
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 L for long.
Bosomy.
Bosomies, because they're real and they're spectacular.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Now,
Bosomy. Okay. So Jimmy and Jack are now in the Daily Planet basement, punching in for the day. Jack sets his awesome Superman lunchbox, that I would love to own, by the way, on a table, and they both get to work. Jack heads to the ink supply room while Jimmy starts sweeping the floor. That's a terrible job.
Is that lunchbox is that available anywhere? Like, can you buy a lunchbox like that somewhere? Do you
I
think?
don't think I've done a little bit of research. I don't think it's an actual lunchbox. I think they made it.
Okay.
I think it is cute that Jack owns a Superman lunchbox.
Right.
Considering we think he probably knows about Clark. Like,
That's a good
he's my
point.
buddy. I'm gonna carry his lunchbox, right?
That's
a good point. I didn't think
true.
about that. I just thought, oh, that's so cute that he's got a Superman lunchbox. It's just so funny. But considering that he pretty much, knows who that is, it's even funnier. That he's like, haha, I got a Superman lunchbox.
That's really
Or he
cute.
probably went up to Clark and was like,
Yeah.
look at my lunchbox. Do you like it? Isn't it cute?
Deleted scene.
Mess with him. Yes.
Suddenly, someone switches out those lunchboxes, and then boom, a bomb inside the lunchbox explodes, causing the entire building to shake. Clark quickly x-rays the floor and notices the chaos below, yells for everyone to evacuate immediately, and without hesitation transforms into Superman and performs some heroic saves. He lifts a fallen stairwell, carries Jack outside to a stretcher, and ends up helping fly the fire hoses into the planet to assist the firefighters. Yeah, this one is another one of my favorite bloopers here from the daily tapes. Instead of Superman carrying Jack out to a stretcher, a guy carries Superman out to the stretcher, and Terry gives him CPR, and it's hilarious. And that's another one I will share on the socials because it's so funny.
Where exactly is the printing press? I always assumed the basement, but it's the fire's on the 8th floor is what the fire chief says.
Yes.
And Jack comes downstairs when Superman finds him. So you're thinking the printing press is up here, but the explosions happen on the ground level. Like, what is even happening?
Yes. Very confusing.
I know we're not supposed to be sitting here overthinking it, but then when it finally comes out, like, okay, the Daily Planet is destroyed. Well, how so? How? What's destroyed about it? The windows are broken?
A bomb. Yeah. A bomb in a lunchbox did all of that.
We don't hear if anyone's died. It doesn't sound like they have.
Yeah.
The other thing that bothers me about this scene, Superman flies up to the thing and Jimmy's like, how many times you just stepped in and saved our lives? And he's standing there. Lois is standing there. Nobody asks, hey, has anyone seen Clark?
Where's Clark?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
He's still in
Where's
there.
Perry?
Yeah,
Perry's
still
not
in
there
there.
either, right?
Perry was not there because
Perry
Oh, he
quit.
quit. That's right.
he hadn't been there at all that
That's
day.
true.
Kat is either on
Yeah.
vacation or Lois has murdered her and she's in the woods. But Clark was there and nobody's asking about him, which I think is a little oversight on the writer's part.
Yeah.
But they make up for it in future episodes where Lois is constantly asking, where's Clark? Where's Clark? Where's Clark? So they do
Yeah.
make up for that.
That's true.
But yeah, it was very
Anyway,
a little confusing where exactly the printing press was. I always assumed it was in the basement the way they shot it, but then like you said, Jack and the stairs, and but then there's like multiple large explosions going off. So I think there was more than one bomb. There had to have been.
That's the other thing.
Or it like
But then
set
how
off
would
other
Jack have...
things. And then, yeah, I don't know. It was weird. Yeah. But you're not supposed to think about that.
No, you're
Just
really
that
not.
there's an explosion. Yeah.
But I don't want the show to get nitty-gritty realistic. But at the same time, if you are gonna go there, and they never really do. They don't, do they? Like, and I guess I appreciate that. I'm not saying, oh, I wish we could have seen gory details. Not at all.
Gore.
No,
Yeah.
I don't want to see gore. I mean, there's plenty of ways
No.
to imply it, and a lot of even really good films
Right,
do
without
that, where
showing.
they imply it, and you still get the point across, and no complaints. So, just something that's been kind of weighing on my mind. That Daily Planet explosion was a lot bigger deal than I think, or not as big a deal. I don't even know. I have questions.
Right.
Perry, Lois, Clark, Jack, and Jimmy, his arm now in a sling, walk outside. Lex comes up with some officers and accuses Jack of planting the bomb. He grabs him by the shirt and tells the officers to take him away. Clark says it must be a mistake, but Lex says no, that the incendiary device was found in his lunchbox and that the police found explosives in his room. Dang, that was fast. Poor Jack. Shouldn't have talked back to Lex. That'll teach ya.
Yeah.
Lex laments that it's a sad day, and Perry corrects him, saying,
No, it's an historic day. Tomorrow, for the first time in 219 years, there will be no edition of the Daily Planet.
The next morning, they all gather in front of the planet and watch as the globe is lowered. Lois assures them that they will bounce back, but Perry reminds her that Lex just had a press conference and said that it will not open in the foreseeable future. Jimmy offers to buy everyone coffee, so they walk over to a little cafe across the street. Jimmy's got enough money to buy coffee? He's unemployed.
He's like, I only have a little bit left. Might as well spend it. I'm gonna end up in the YMCA pretty soon anyway.
Well, he's got that video dream, so he thinks he's going to be rich.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
like, he's optimistic, buying everyone coffee
Yep.
because he's going to be rich.
He's
Jimmy.
the one with the plan. Going to be some video
He's the guy
tycoon.
with the...
Sitting outside of the cafe, they start reminiscing about the good old days. Perry became an assistant copy boy at 17, and Clark started barely a year ago. Jimmy and Clark thank Perry for hiring them. Lois pauses, unwilling to join in the pity party, still optimistic they will all be back together. Perry says no, that he's just going to take an early retirement, and then leaves to meet Alice at the realtors.
I love Clark's quote here, which is kind of, you might blink and miss it or whatever, but it's, thanks for giving me the best year of my life. And Lois nothing clicks for Lois there, but the best year of his life, he's like 28 and this is the best year. Lois, hello.
Yep, nope, she's just not going to join in that. There is a part in the script, though, about Kat here, where Jimmy asks, where's Kat? Has anybody seen her? And Perry says that she had an interview with Newstime magazine. Lois comments, she's supposed to catch rats, not desert the sinking ship with them. Yikes. So there is a little out here for her, I guess. A little bit.
I wish that she could have filmed up until the last of at least season 1, even if it had just been this episode and not House of Luthor.
Yeah.
And they could have written her a proper exit so that we would have some answers, just some loose ends tied
I
up.
wish that there was at least,
I guess it's all in our imagination.
At least a mention of what happened. Like, it's in the script, at least mention it. Not just, oh, she's not around anymore. She was seen was seen in this episode in a picture. Oh wait, yes.
That's right.
I'm like,
the next
episode.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, that's the next one. Never mind.
And she's mentioned.
What's the picture?
Yeah, she's mentioned.
Their little cast photo.
The cast photo.
The one that we all have of like on our walls, and Clark also has. I thought that was hilarious.
So Lois shows up at Lex's penthouse to see if Lex will rebuild the planet. She finally gets to meet Mrs. Cox, who is just hanging all over him, and it's super awkward. Lex basically says it makes no economic sense to rebuild, but that he can make a new home for her and has a new job for her at LNN, Luthor News Network. He pulls out the ring again, asking if she's reached her decision yet, and she says she'll have an answer for him tomorrow. Say no, Lois. Say no.
Don't do it.
Do it. He mentions that he'll show her around and see if she likes it, and she agrees to go check it out. So apparently she did go check it out and wants Clark to meet her there. Lois and Clark meet up at L&N, and she shows him around her new workplace, hoping he'll work there too. Clark is upset that it seems Lois has given up on the planet so easily, saying, "Did it really mean that little to you?" She responds hurt, that it probably meant more to her, but it's gone and she has to move on, but she really wants her partner with her. Clark says that he will never work for Luthor. But when Lois says,
Well, what about us? What about partners?
Clark knows it's time to tell her his feelings and asks if they can talk somewhere privately.
So now Clark and Lois are outside in the park walking side by side. Clark begins to explain to her that when he started to think about his life without the Daily Planet, he realized the only thing he really didn't want to live without was Lois.
That's why you should come and be my
No,
partner.
Lois, listen to me. I'm not talking about partnership. I'm talking about us. I have been in love with you for a long time. You had to have known.
Guys, he finally did it. It's out there. Lois responds by saying that she guesses she knew that he kind of liked her or that he was attracted to her. But then she lets him down and says that she just doesn't feel like that back in a romantic way. But she also doesn't want to lose him as a friend. So Clark stands up awkwardly, smoothing his hair. I feel so bad for him here. He's obviously disappointed. He asks about Luthor and if she loves him. Lois doesn't really know how to respond to this, saying that she just doesn't know. But she does have feelings for him. She just won't say yes until she talks about it with someone else. When Clark asks who she's talking about, she says, "I think you know who."
Duh.
And that, yeah. And that if Clark sees him, would he let Superman know that she's looking for him? Like, just twist the knife a little harder. Clark agrees, and the devastation is clear as day on his face. Poor guy.
So sad. So sad. Like his whole dream is just crushed.
Mm-hmm. He knows that she loves Superman, so I feel like there's got to be a glimmer of hope in there somewhere. But the fact that she is not seeing Clark for who he is, especially since they're best friends, she doesn't really know anything about Superman other than he's this hot guy who can fly and save things. Like, he's a hero. But Clark, she knows as a person. And maybe the fact that she doesn't like that isn't enough would be heartbreaking.
She's had, from the first time that she and Superman met, remember, she tells Lucy like she felt this connection with Superman the first time that they flew. And so it's like this really kind of physical, or even, I don't even know how to describe it, that I don't really know is part of their whole soulmates journey. I don't know. But whatever it is, she connects with Superman. And I feel like because of that early on, and also because she thinks Clark's a hack from Nowheresville at the beginning, and he's a little bit mean to her and she's a little bit mean to him. But because she feels that way about Superman, I think that's why she's more hesitant to get close to Clark. Well, she's about to have that taken away from her very quickly right now. But also, Clark, if you hadn't, he encouraged her a bit as Superman. I'm talking Pheromone My Lovely here.
Yep.
I'm talking all shook up, I'll be back, we'll go flying. Him showing up for her multiple times, not just to save her life, but just showing up for her like, and I'm looking through you. He has kind of dug his own hole here.
He didn't help the situation.
Yeah, he gave her that glimmer of hope. Yeah.
No.
As someone who has I'm sure we've all had that crush where maybe it's unrequited and you grab onto every little thing that's given out to you. And you're like, oh, was that a sign? Are we meant to be like, I feel bad for her because that's Superman for her. And she's latching on to every little piece of whatever he puts out there. And he has put out there some stuff because he has those feelings as Clark, but the only way he can do anything about it is as Superman.
She feels something from Superman that is absolutely real. It's just not being packaged in the right way so that things can all work out, but for both of them in the way they all want. So I mean, it's like it's there, the affection is there, the attention is there, the love is there. It's just not like the angles are missing each other, and I don't know how to describe it.
It's not
Right.
complete.
And it's sad. It's not.
It's an incomplete puzzle.
Something needs to. Yes, the puzzle pieces are sideways or something, but they need to.
Yeah.
Oh.
So now it's night and we see a car drive into the frame. A shady figure gets out of the car and he's holding a briefcase. Another figure meets up with him and asks if he has the money. We then recognize Lex's voice as he puts the briefcase down and declares that he does indeed have $5 million. Lex asks for the stone. The other guy alludes to his own briefcase, which must hold the kryptonite. Then Lex pulls out a gun and demands that he slide the briefcase toward him and raise his hands, which the guy does. Shady Lex. Lex says that if the stone works, he'll pay for it with a bonus. Well, the other guy then shouts, "Now," and all these guys appear, and there's a shootout. But just then, Mrs. Cox appears in this jumpsuit with a big gun and starts shooting everywhere. Lex is still throwing out bullets, and he ends up getting hit. Mrs. Cox walks around the car and opens the door to reveal the real Lex, who gets out of the car and examines the poor guy wearing the Lex mask, and he's dead on the ground.
I used to think that this guy, this fake Lex, was actually Chip, but now in 4K or whatever we're watching this in Blu-ray, it's not Chip.
It's not.
But I used to think that's who it was.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that would be really sad, actually.
That was a pretty good mask.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Mr. Makeup,
Yeah,
is that
Mr.
you?
Makeup. Maybe that's Mr. Makeup.
Sebastian?
Who knows? Oh, Sebastian?
Edmund?
He's probably-
Whoever? I don't know.
He's probably still in jail.
Joey from Full House?
No, because he's still alive later.
Okay, yeah. So Mrs. Cox says,
"It isn't easy playing you."
Nonsense. I do it every day.
the other bad guy who originally had the deal with Lex is coughing, not doing too well on the ground, and Lex walks over. Lex pats the guy's clothing and says,
Is that kryptonite in your pocket, or are you glad to see me?
I've always loved that
Why
line.
is he...
I don't know that I understood it as a kid.
Probably not. Probably not back then. But why is he patting the guy down when the thing is very obvious in the pocket? Come on.
It's real dark.
Yeah.
It's dark. You can't smell.
Okay.
Then it would be glowing. I don't know.
And it was in the little pouch, so it wasn't glowing. But yeah, that
Maybe
thing was
his cigar
massive.
smoke is you can't see.
That thing was massive, and he's just like, "Where is it? Where is it?"
Dur, dur, dur.
Oh, there it is. This big giant thing.
Oh.
Well, it is giant. Maybe it was deep inside a pocket. Like the guy wouldn't have had it visible to Lex during their exchange, because then Lex would have been like, "It's not in the
Yeah.
briefcase. It's right there." So it had to be
Yeah,
a little bit buried, but
that's true. So Lex then instructs Mrs. Cox to pay him his bonus. What is implied is a little shady, but this is Lex we're talking about, so it is what it is.
Oh, what's in the script?
Barbarian.
Oh, she shot them all. She
Does it
killed them
say?
all. Yep.
Okay. Well, there it is.
I mean, it was
Confirmed.
obvious what was happening, but they're not gonna put that in
yeah.
the show.
Lois is wearing a nightgown and reading a book in her apartment. Just then, Superman appears in her window. Lois invites him in and says that she will just go put on a robe. Superman stops her and says,
Unless it's lined with lead, Lois. That's a waste of time.
"And what is your takeaway from this line? Can he actively see through clothes without trying? Is he implying that she shouldn't be modest because he can look if he wants to?" Which I don't like that if that's the case.
I think he's just being a jerk because he's butthurt. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
That is just rude.
Mhm. Yeah, that was very
Uncalled
rude.
for. Come on. But he knows what he's there for. He knows what she's gonna say. He is upset and hurt, but he's there because he knows he needs to be
Yeah.
there. But that was rude. Come on.
That line got quite a bit of discussion, I feel like, in fanfic. Whenever this scene would be replayed in fanfic, you would hear Lois hearing that line and just thinking it was the worst thing that anyone has ever said to her.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking that was so strange because to me, his line always just felt like, well, yeah, he's not wrong. That's true. Let's get the conversation over with, which is like, I think a neurodivergent sort of, if you say something that's technically true, but then you have to remember like the five, whatever it is. Is it kind? Is it helpful? Is it, inspiring? And it's like, it's only the first one. It's only the like helpful in the sense that it'll get this conversation going. It is not necessary. It is not kind. Don't say it. Keep your inside thoughts to yourself. But yeah, it wasn't until people started pointing out that this quote was problematic that I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, I guess it kind of is. He's shouldn't have said it, but I don't think it's the worst thing.
And I think I think we as the audience know that he is feeling the feelings because the feelings are not reciprocated, but it just came off as
I don't think he meant to hurt her, like really hurt her. I don't think he meant to. Would you?
Yeah. Well, and I don't think that she took it that way at all because she kind of looks down.
Yeah.
And then she looks at what she's wearing and then she looks back up and there's a little glimmer in her eye and it did set with me in a certain way because I knew, but I don't think that I think she still sees that there's hope and that maybe it's like, ooh, he could look at me, he could see whatever he wants to see.
Maybe she was taking it as kind of him flirting a little, like, well, I can look at you whenever I want, kind of thing, kind of a creepy thing. But I took it as he's hurt and he's kind of kicking back a little because he knows what's coming.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, I do believe he's hurt. I just don't ever believe he meant it to like devastate her or anything. And so,
yeah,
because that would be really mean.
I just feel like let the woman get dressed, Superman. Come on.
If she feels more comfortable, why wouldn't you let her? That's the thing. Let her feel more comfortable. But he just wants to get this over with. Yeah, he just is like, I know what she's gonna say. This is not gonna end well for us, and this is gonna be awkward. On the other hand,
it's like at least she's not in her Superman pajamas. That could have been a little bit more awkward.
He's like, yeah, you can go change. It's fine.
That would have been
put
funny.
your robe on, please.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was I gonna say?
Pajamas.
No, how oh, right. Okay. So she has said that she won't say yes to Lex until she talks it over with Superman. Being that as it is, why does he fly there that night? Why doesn't he stall?
Yeah.
Why doesn't he?
Because this is a 45-minute show.
There's that.
Just kidding. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't.
And then the eternal question, which folks have been asking for 1,000 years, or 30 years, which is, why doesn't he, as Superman, tell her about Lex Luthor? Why doesn't he play that card? And,
exactly.
We've come up with our reasons, but it still sucks.
Which are what? Why not? Like he should.
Especially because he knows that her answer to Lex is based on his answer to her, basically. He's going to tell her no, which is going to make her decide to maybe marry Lex, whether he believes it or not. He thinks that there's a chance based on his answer. He could very easily have just said, Lex is a bad guy. She's going to listen to him. She listens to everything Superman says. Come on. Or give her a little hope or something. Like, I mean, maybe that wouldn't be the right, direction to give her hope that they could be together, but just anything. If his decision to tell her as Clark that he loved her was I'll do anything to stop you. Do anything. Anything.
Hmm.
I don't know. Come on.
No,
But no.
yeah. So my theory's always just been like he's so hurt from their earlier conversation. And it's kind of the thing where, I mean, I feel this when you've told somebody something and they don't believe you. And then maybe later they get more information and you could be like, I told you so, or you could be like pressing them to admit that they were wrong or whatever. But instead you just want to be like, go dig your own grave. I told you. And you
Yeah.
don't even
Hmm.
want to remind them. You just want them to suffer. Not suffer, but like in Clark's
Yeah.
mind, just she wouldn't listen to me as the true person that I am. So using my other, artificial self, if I tell her and then she listens, oh wait, that actually sucks. Well, in a
Right.
way, like
Yeah.
where does it suck more that she might not marry Lex or that she believed your artificial self and not your true self in the long
True.
run? Plus he doesn't know 100% that she's going to say yes to Lex, so there is still maybe that she won't.
Right.
And then afterwards, after she does say yes, I believe that Superman doesn't try to intercept afterwards because, as we find out, well, in our next episode, Clark is very insecure because he says to Perry something like, doesn't matter what we find out about Lex Luthor, maybe Luthor is what Lois
Maybe Lex
wants.
is
Like
what she really
Clark,
wants.
like no,
Yeah.
Clark, no, 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 no. Don't
Yeah.
don't don't give up, Clark. So he doesn't
Hmm.
actually have, yeah, he he makes some poor decisions based on just his reactions and stupid lunkheadedness of some degree. And
Yeah. Lunkhead. So anyway, Lois then admits that she has a lot of changes going on in her life and she wants to make the right decision. She goes on to say that she can't do that unless she knows how he feels.
Superman, is there any hope for us? You and me? I'm so completely in love with you. I can't do anything else without knowing.
Lois, I do care for you. But there are things about me that you don't know, that you may never know.
It doesn't matter. I know you. I don't mean you, the celebrity, or you, the superhero. If you had no powers at all, if you were just an ordinary man leading an ordinary life, I would love you just the same.
Girl!
That is the worst
Open
thing
your
that you
eyes.
could possibly say to him right now. The worst.
I think that probably pissed him off even more.
but
Poor Clark having to listen to this.
Ugh.
So Lois asks, "Can't you believe that?" And Superman responds with, "I wish I could, Lois, but under the circumstances, I don't see how I can."
we're all crying here. We're all crying.
No. I need to go to the Arctic. No.
We'll all scream. Ah! So Lois fights back tears and then feels a breeze. And when she turns around, Superman is gone. He flew out the window. She whispers, "Superman," and we get a little fade out. Like, where are we going from here, guys? Like, that's just sad.
So sad. All of her hopes for the last year with this super being.
At the same time, I kind of feel like she deserves that a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because she did that to Clark. And poor Clark, like, he's fighting an internal battle about, like, she loves me, but she doesn't love me.
Mhm.
Ugh, I don't know. Love triangles, man.
It makes you wonder if he had never become Superman, somehow, and still she was
Mhm.
still alive somehow in this moment, which
Yeah.
we don't know if that would be true. But if Superman had never been in the equation, would she have fallen
Yes.
for Clark? Season
Yep.
one?
That is a good question.
Or
I like that.
what? I want to know.
Maybe. I think she's
Man.
just so love-sick, blinded by Superman that she just can't
Yeah.
think that way towards any other guy. She's not even really there towards Lex. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a power
No.
thing with him.
So we now find ourselves at LNN, and Lois is sorting out her new desk. The girl has her own office now. Fancy. She pulls out a scrapbook of her old Superman stories from the Daily Planet, looking at them, and she smiles. There's a commotion outside of her office, and she runs out and asks what's going on. The anchor explains that there may be indictments against 2 city councilmen. They don't know which councilmen were named. The LNN camera crew are being denied access, and they basically don't know much of anything. Nothing is confirmed. But they do know CNN is going to air with the story. Lois decides that she'll make a few calls. The anchor, kind of in a bratty way, says, "I'm on the air in 4 minutes." And Lois squints her eyes. I love her attitude here. And she mutters, "Not unless you have something to report." She's so snarky.
I love how she says that she knows a few bailiffs. She's gotten some of those bailiffs in trouble. Are they going to really help her?
Right.
And also, did you see that she brought her dead plant and put it on her desk? Her dead plant is there.
What? She did? Oh, I missed it.
I love it.
That's funny.
I love it.
Her scrapbook is kind of sweet because, I mean, we only get to see 2 pages of it. One is from Batman, but it was presumably written like way early on because it's the lock of hair one. And then the other is Superman builds undersea trench
Honeymoon.
from Honeymoon Metropolis.
Yeah.
Just a nice little selection.
Well, now knowing that her little dead plant is there, I feel like this plant is like its own character. It needs a name.
Okay, but how did it survive the explosion? Did she get to go back into the Daily Planet? Did she grab it and stuff it in her bra on the way out?
True. Well, maybe that floor didn't get it too bad. They just shook.
They were able to.
They just
Superman
shook
did.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny.
Well, the dead plant is its own character now, and I feel like his name should be like Stan or
Stanley.
something. Stanley the plant.
Grant the plant.
Grant the plant.
Grant the plant. That's cute because there's rhyming involved. We hear a buzz as Jack, wearing an orange jumpsuit, is escorted to a room to meet with Clark in jail.
He's in juvie, technically.
Oh, sorry. Yes, juvenile. It's not
technically.
It's not jail. Jack sits down and Clark asks how he is doing. Jack responds with,
"Room's small and drafty, company's not much to speak of, but on the other hand, the food stinks."
So Clark asks Jack for the truth, no matter what it is. Jack is adamant. "I had nothing to do with it, I swear to you." He holds up his hand in a scout's honor type of way, and Jack asks why he even would do something like that. He had a good job, people who trusted him. Jack asks if Clark believes him, and Clark says that he does. Clark promises that he'll get him out of there. Jack then goes on to explain that he doesn't like the lawyer that Lex got for him, and the lawyer doesn't listen to him. He just thinks that he should cop a plea. Clark says that he'll get him another lawyer, and then Jack looks down at Clark's folded hands on the table and says,
"Any chance you could ask Superman to bust me out of here?"
Jack, no.
I didn't think so.
Did you guys notice where his eyes went when he said that line? He looks at Clark's hands and asks if Superman can get him out of there.
Yeah, he knows.
Just me?
He knows.
He knows.
Like, can we just bypass the bureaucracy of all of this? You believe me? Let's
Just
just bust out.
Bust me
he
out.
won't.
Let's go.
He won't bust out Jack, but will he bust out other people?
Yes, he
in the
will.
future from jail.
Oh, what? Would he do that though? Superman?
But he
I don't
won't do it
think
for
so.
Jack. I'm never gonna forget.
I know.
That would be against everything that Superman stands for, unless it's you, Lois.
Yeah. Yeah. So Clark responds by saying, "Jack, no." And Jack goes, "I didn't think so." But I thought that was cute. Jack totally knows. Totally knows.
For sure.
with his Superman lunchbox. So back at LNN, they're going on the air. We hear a countdown of 5, 4, 3, and then the breaking news begins to play. The news anchor proceeds to deliver the news story. Everyone claps and the news anchor acknowledges Lois, and it's clear that Lois has saved the day with her fine investigation skills. The girl is just good at her job, plain and simple. Gotta love that Lois Lane.
She saved the day. Good job, Lois.
So next we're at this retirement party, and Perry is trying to soak up everything with Clark, Lois, and Jimmy. Perry is in the middle of a toast / story of Elvis and Priscilla. He's kind of having a hard time with it, talking about how time will slip up on you or something. And Clark says, well, now you have time for everything. The others pipe up talking about how he has no more deadlines and he could plan for a trip to Graceland he'd intended on taking. That grabs Perry's attention for a minute, but Perry's heart just isn't in it. We get a sad rendition of Lonely Teardrops. And then Perry goes on into a story about how Jackie Wilson, 1975, collapsed on stage singing that song. Elvis sent his wife $35,000 to help pay for medical bills. He says that was the king. And just then, a belly dancer comes by and pulls Perry away as he continues to sing his Just Say You Will medley.
Say you will, say you will.
The lady that pulls him away, vibes of the Dance of the Seven Veils. I'm just saying, something familiar about her on song.
Uh-huh.
A little bit.
Yes. Jimmy asks how Lois's new job is, and Lois responds, great. She says broadcasting is exciting. Clark chimes in with his attitude, saying how it wasn't like that at the planet. It was dull and boring there. Lois and Clark then start to kind of go back and forth. Lois doesn't want to sit around and obsess over the loss of the planet, but Clark wants to fight for it. Lois asks him to come talk to her in private. So they walk over to a corner where Lois tells Clark that he's ruining Perry's retirement dinner. Clark snaps back.
You're afraid, Lois.
I'm not afraid of anything.
Yes, you are. You're afraid of the truth. And the truth is that Lex Luthor may be hiding from you what really happened at the Daily Planet. I've been doing some digging, Lois.
I know why you're doing this.
Oh, you do you?
Yes. You told me your feelings and you're hurt. And I am sorry about that, Clark, but all of this, it's just sour grapes.
Lois, what if I find
You are
evidence?
talking about a man I trust and admire, who has always been completely truthful with me. Now, if you really cared about me, you would let me. You would help me to be happy. I have found a good job and someone who wants to spend the rest of his life with me. What is wrong with that?
Okay, that's fine. If that's what you want, Lois, then fine. Go ahead. Get in bed with the devil.
Fine.
Fine. Let's get back to the party then.
Yes. Have a really good time.
Fighting. It's intense.
In the episode, you can really see Jimmy being really sad and like depressed, and just his face is just withdrawn from the whole conversation at the beginning. In the script, there's a reason. Remember how I said he had this big plan with his former roommate? Well, he gets up during the whole retirement dinner. He goes over to the payphone and calls his friend Buzz, who he's going to be doing this with. And he finds out that the deal is off, that he completely took all of Jimmy's money, all the loans that he got out for it, and he's been completely just, double-crossed, basically. Whoopsie, Jimmy.
Oh, dear.
Trusting the wrong people.
Poor Jimmy.
So he just lost a crap ton of money.
Poor guy.
And now he has no job.
And no job. Yeah. Maybe Perry could adopt him.
I know, or Lois could see about getting him a job at L&N. Doesn't even try.
Doesn't even try that.
Oh, that's
wow.
true.
That's a good, that's true.
Wow. The friendship?
Maybe Lex said no.
Interesting.
Like, nope.
Yeah.
He did
he would have let Jimmy until Lois said yes, and then maybe made Jimmy miserable, but
yeah. And Lois did, I don't think this is in the episode. It's in the script though. Lois did ask Lex to help Jack and get him a lawyer. So that's why the lawyer thing, but obviously it's a lawyer that's not really going to help Jack. But Lois thinks that Lex is helping.
Right.
Even though he doesn't believe,
blind.
Completely blind. But Lex is a great manipulator, and he just comes off as the fact that he is helping all of her friends, and he's not at all. Not at all.
No. Evil. As everyone's leaving the party later that night, Jimmy is helping to carry an obviously inebriated Perry to the car that Lex called for them. Jimmy says that it must be nice to have a free car whenever he needs one. Clark shoots back. The word free is not in Lex's vocabulary.
No.
Lois shoots Clark a hurt glare and asks for him to stop. She then asks if he's coming, and Clark tells her that he'd rather walk. As Clark walks away, it's clear that she is torn up over this fight that she's having with Clark. She watches him walk away with a hurt in her eyes. Is it really worth it for her to lose her best friend for this guy that she's not even sure that she's in love with? I think she's feeling that right now, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
I think
Well,
she's
if
feeling.
Clark, I'm not saying
Go for it.
just Clark's being a little bit snarky and mean too. So that doesn't help. I mean, if he'd been his
Yeah.
sweet self and not made all these snide comments, I'm not just blaming him, but it doesn't help.
Yeah. I just think that she's realizing that she could potentially lose him. Not in a romantic way, but she could lose her best friend.
She could lose her best friend, but he's also being a little bit of an a-hole right now, and maybe
Yeah.
I feel like she's just feeling a little lost. And Lex, I mean, it's all because of Lex trying to get rid of all of her support system, all of her friends, her job, making her, I guess, need him more. And it worked.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a manipulation
completely
tactic.
worked. And
Yeah.
maybe in her head is she's already kind of lost all of them. And if she says no to Lex, she could lose him too. And he's really all she's got. So what he's doing is working. We don't want it to,
Yeah.
but it is working.
It's a fascinating, it's fascinating in terms of like the psychology of it all. Where he's kind of becoming this, what's the word? When someone is I guess just a narcissist, but an abuser. A lot of times when your abuser is treating you like that, they want to isolate you and make you feel like they're saving you. Like, so they set you up to essentially fail so that they can swoop in and save the day. And I think that's what Lex is doing, is he is showing some narcissistic tendencies.
And he continues it.
And this is how he's
weirdly, and I mean, not weirdly enough, but considered in our next episode, even after she has said yes to him, he is still trying to take things away from her. He tries to kill Superman. He says to Superman, well, I'm going to need to kill Clark too. Like, he going all the way. And the beginning when he's, using the thing and seeing all the stuff, he sees Jimmy in pain and he laughs at that. He sees, Jack in the jail. Oh my gosh. Like, he wants everybody to be out of Lois's life, but also suffer, and also for his amusement as a bonus.
Yeah.
Not just get him out of
He's a good villain,
but
right,
to enjoy it. Oh my god.
It's terrible.
Yeah, he a bad man, in case you didn't know.
What? But
he is
the hero of the story.
He's so charismatic. Those big brown eyes.
I mean,
he is.
He does play it well. That's the unfortunate thing too, is a lot of times these people who are in these roles in real life, they can be the most charismatic of all. And that's why they know how to do it. I don't know.
And Lois has gone through, I mean, all of her hope with Superman, well, not all of it, but like 99% of her hope with Superman dashed in an instant. The trauma, all this trauma that has happened, bang, 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 within just a matter of like a week, all this stuff has happened. And him coming in, pressing her, well, have you decided? Here's the ring again. Have you thought more about it? Kind of giving her this pressure, just all this pushing her into this. So continue, Jen. We do have to get to this.
Yes. No, for sure. But it is good conversation. So now we see Lex asking Lois how the retirement dinner was. She responds, painful. And Lois asks Lex if she really knows him, if she knows enough about him. Lex then offers to tell her all about his life.
My life is an open book. Shall I read it to you?
Just the parts you wouldn't want anyone else to know.
He goes on to admit that he started with nothing, orphaned at 13, but it made him stronger. He admits that he's not a saint, but it's the nature of big business. We get a black and white scene showcasing that the board decided to sell the Daily Planet, but that it must be immediate and unanimous. He tells the men in the room that their loyalty will be compensated. He vaguely explains to Lois that sometimes out of jealousy or frustration, he has overreacted. And then we see a black and white scene showcasing Lex planting a bomb in a Superman lunchbox. He admits to Lois that he's been ruthless with his enemies. And then we see a gun getting loaded and placed into the briefcase. He tells Lois that as God is his witness, he will change and he will no longer want to hurt anyone. And then we see a glowing green rock being locked away. He finishes his speech saying that he will devote his life to her, and he proceeds to ask her once again if she'll marry him. And he has taken everything away from her at this point. Lois thinks back to what Superman said and responds with, "Yes, Lex, I will marry you." Superman, meanwhile, is outside watching from the window as Lex places the ring on Lois's left hand, and they kiss. Superman flies away and lands in a snowy land of ice and screams at the top of his lungs, causing icebergs to fall into the ocean. We get a to be continued on the screen. And that's our show. I'm laughing because of you guys.
No!
You're doing like the screaming scene. It's so funny. Okay, anyway, but yes, that's the end of it. That's our show. And we're all heartbroken.
I did kind of notice this time, he puts his head in his hands. I don't think we ever see Clark or Superman actually shed tears on the show, so it's debatable how much he actually does cry, but yeah. I think he's crying there, even if we don't see it.
Yeah.
No.
So sad. But to be continued, ... The next episode's great. Stay tuned.
Like I said, if that much bad stuff can happen in 45 minutes, then they can bring it right back up in the next one if they try.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh. When that ended and she said yes, and then it went to the to be continued, knife to the heart. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I had to wait for the conclusion to this episode. What?
Yes.
Do you guys remember, was this a 1 week wait or was this a 2 week? Because sometimes there were 2 weeks in between. It was just a one.
Yeah.
It was a one. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, sometimes it was 2 or 3.
That would have been hard.
Well, let's get into our special features. I'm going to start with our acronym of the week this week, which is TPTB.
Ugh.
TPTB stood for The Powers That Be. We used this one back in the 90s as shorthand for anyone who had any creative authority over the show, the people at Warner Brothers, ABC, DC Comics, writers, producers, directors, anybody who got to make decisions regarding the show. As in, heaven knows why TPTB thought the amnesia arc was a good idea, but here we are.
Yeah.
Jen, were there any fuzzy, furry, or feathery creatures in this episode?
Nope. Okay, quick addendum, because I have never before noticed this in the history of however many years I've been watching Lois and Clark. There are 2 dogs in this episode. They are in the scene where Clark is professing his love to Lois and she then breaks his heart. I guess I've always been distracted by the fact that she's breaking his heart and my heart is breaking, that I haven't noticed what's going on in the background. But yes, there is a dog behind Clark when he says that he loves her. And then later on, a little dog is getting scooped up or something when his heart is breaking. My dog radar is off. But anyway, yes, 2 dogs.
Julie, were there any goofs or bloopers in this episode?
There was. I was trying to figure out. Well, one that I noticed was Perry said the Daily Planet was around for 219 years. That's very inconsistent. I was trying to find the episode where they talked about a year, because I swear there's one that he talked about a year in. But I do also know in second season, it's the 60th anniversary in one of the episodes. So maybe it's not a goof yet, but it will be in the future. Because that's not 60 years. 60 years and 219.
Well,
That's a
yeah,
very big difference.
it has not been in
Big
that
time.
building 219 years because we know that the gangsters
Yeah.
owned the building in the 20s. Maybe it wasn't printed in Metropolis. Maybe it was brought there later.
Yeah. Who knows?
That quote has always seemed weird, and it, although it could technically be possible because there were newspapers back in 1770, whatever. The fact that that's never corroborated anywhere else in the series has always just sort of stuck out.
Yes, it does.
But it's a powerful line. It's like, wow, this is a major event not having a Daily Planet today.
It's a historic day.
Look what you did, Lex.
Lex.
Yeah.
Ruined it all.
Lex ruined it.
Also,
yeah, maybe not like a total blooper, but definitely a thinker, right?
It's a thinker. I don't, yeah. It's very not consistent. Also, how did Lex know that Jack had a Superman lunchbox and that he would take it that day? Obviously, they broke into wherever Jack lives and like put the evidence there. But they had to have gone there earlier and found out that he had a lunchbox that had Superman on it.
Maybe he used to bring it to the Daily Planet proper, we just never saw it.
Yeah.
Maybe
it was an everyday thing. It was just they knew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
It would have been nice if they'd showed it to us beforehand. But time-wise, whatever. Good question.
But I would like it.
Somebody, yeah, I think it's just gonna yellow lunchbox, stick a decal on it.
Somebody find me a Superman. I have a Superman lunchbox, but it looks nothing like that one.
Yeah, sorry, Julie. The actual prop exploded. Oh wait, but Mrs. Cox has his actual one. She's okay.
It's somewhere,
one
right?
That's still okay.
It's in a dumpster somewhere.
What if
it exists? It
what
has
if,
to.
because the explosion happened at like 12:40, so I assume they had like a 1 o'clock lunch. What if Jack had wanted to get a snack out of his box, like sneak something, blows up the box,
and he sees?
No.
Yeah.
Where's my sandwich?
No.
See, it's not just that she planted the bomb. She took his sandwich. Mrs. Cox is a jerk.
Probably some good stuff in there.
Then he got hauled off to juvie and probably didn't get to eat very much that day.
He was hungry.
She took his meatball sub. Poor Jack. Now he has to go hungry.
I thought I could see him as an egg salad sandwich kind of guy.
Salad.
Unless they'd already had lunch and now that was his empty lunchbox and she snatched it.
Oh, maybe.
I think he was excited that it was almost lunchtime because he looked at the clock like, ooh.
Yeah.
I think. Right. Did you notice any other ones?
Well, yeah, just the like, nobody's asking where Clark is. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so I have some real life things that got name dropped here. We had a mention of Italy and Milano, which is also known as Milan. Las Vegas, Graceland, another mention of Elvis and his dearly departed twin brother, Jesse Garon Presley. We heard a mention of CNN, and I feel like that might be the first time that's been talked about. Got reference to the Seven Dwarfs, the 1937 Disney version, and the 8 Reindeer, as named in the poem from 1823, A Visit from St. Nicholas. We heard Perry singing Lonely Teardrops, a real song written by Barry Gordy Jr., Gwen Gordy, and Rokel Billy Davis. It was performed by Jackie Wilson in 1958, and Jackie Wilson was mentioned. He was born in 1934 and died in 1984. And the whole thing with him collapsing on the stage, singing Lonely Teardrops, and Elvis sending him money, Wikipedia says it's true, so good job, writers. Jimmy quotes, "Happy days are here again," and that's the title of a 1929 song written by Milton Ager and Jack Yellen. It entered the public domain just this past year. Its most recognized version is probably the one of Barbara Streisand. And those are the real-life references I found. Jen, what was the most wacky excuse Clark used in this episode?
Well, Clark didn't really give any excuses in this episode. I mean, he got like people out when the planet exploded, but he didn't have to come up with an excuse for that. Jack did ask Superman if he could bust him out, but all Clark said was no, so no big excuse. It was just all truth this episode. Actually, it was all truth because he laid out the truth to Lois.
Don't worry, you'll get one in the next episode. It's pretty darn good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a few.
All right, then. It is that time when we have come to rate this episode on a scale from A+ to F-. So, for me, this episode's a little difficult to rank because structurally it's so different from any other episodes we've had so far. I remember thinking one time while watching this that it just flies by at super speed because I think, because it doesn't have that structure we've come to expect where here's the bad things that's happening, here's Lois and Clark investigating it, here's Superman saving the day. Instead, it's full of a bunch of these pretty epic events. Lex's proposal, Clark admitting to Lois's feelings, Lex announcing he owns the Daily Planet, the explosion, Lois finally saying yes, and on and on. Not to mention everything with Jimmy and Jack and Perry's retirement and the Kryptonite acquisition. I mean, everything that goes on. So this episode builds and builds to end with a kind of energy that absolutely gets me excited for the next episode, while at the same time kind of ripping my heart out with multiple whams. But since it beautifully sets up the next episode, as a pair, they are divine. Therefore, Barbarians at the Planet squeaks by with an A-.
I had a hard time rating this one actually, because in my brain, it's a half episode. We don't have a full episode here because it's half. But I have always really loved these two episodes. While it gave me a little bit of anxiety as a child, I know the outcome. I always wondered how she was going to answer. I loved the confession that Clark finally admits his feelings. For some reason, I love angst and heartbreak and all of that. So even though Lois's answer was wrong, I still loved the episode and I gave it an A-.
I love the fact that we finally get Clark admitting his true feelings to Lois in this episode. And spoiler alert, it is fleeting, but it was so good. Lex's storyline I thought was amazing. It's maddening, but it's fun to follow. And he is so truly fun to hate. He is one of the best villains of all time. Anyway, there was tension with the Lois and Clark fighting, which was great. I love that part. And then we get some really great Jack moments. My favorite is when when Jack asks Clark to bust him out of juvie. And we're still wondering if Jack knows the secret or not. So anyway, I cannot believe we all have the same answer for this, but I also gave it an A-.
Hey!
Good job, guys. Yeah.
Great. That's
only happened one other time, I think.
Yeah, like exactly the same. Yeah. Okay. Well, don't go anywhere because today we are going to be talking about a memorable experience that we all had back in 2022 when we found out that Terry Hatcher was going to be playing Morticia Addams in a production of The Addams Family. So, of course, we all had to get tickets and go, and we did.
I just remember when I saw the announcement, I was so excited, and I knew no matter what, I was going. But I really, really wanted you two to go as well. And I was like, you guys have to go. We have to get our tickets. Let's get a hotel. Let's do it. And Molly was kind of skeptical. Like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
You had some convincing.
I had just come back from a really long trip and I had just started a new job. So I was a little hesitant to take a personal day that soon. But finally I was like, FOMO is real and yeah, we're doing this.
And hey, we have tickets for you and you have to. But yes, this was, let's see, I have the program, 5startheatricals.com. The Addams Family, a new musical comedy, took place October 14th through 23rd of 2022. It was held at the Kavli Theater, the Bank of America Performing Arts Center in Thousand Oaks, California.
Musically staged and directed by Kirsten Chandler. Choreographer Darby Epperson and the music director/conductor was Ryan O'Connell. And the 2021 to 22 season honorary producers were the Cassar family. Thank you for producing this lovely play. We went on the second to last, actually, it was the last night of the performance, but there was a matinee the next day.
The next day.
Right. So it was a Saturday night. We all got.
And we got front row tickets. Like we were in the very front row. That was Julie's doing. I think we were debating, and Julie said, if we're going big. We're going front row. And we had really, really good seats.
Yes, we did.
And earlier that day, we had toured the WB studios, so we were very much in a Lois and Clark mood. And then, we went back to our hotel, got ready, and then went to this play. You guys had put together a little gift basket for Terry, and Julie had arranged.
Well, that was.
Oh, Julie. Well, Julie is the gift
Julie
basket.
did it. It was all Julie.
Julie had arranged with someone to have it sent to Terry, so that was all well and good. But what was in that basket, I would like to know.
It's a weird, long story about this basket. But basically, I made a basket back when she did Cabaret that had a bunch of Little Mermaid toys for Emerson. And that went over so well that I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to do it again because it's another musical. Why not? We're going to go send her a little tiny basket. And I was like, well, Emerson is too old for toys, clearly. She's in her 20s now. So let's do Little Mermaid again, just to be silly. But I got, Little Mermaid toys for the dog and the cat. Pumpkin got some toys and some pumpkin dog treats. And a little scarf that said pumpkin. But it was mostly Little Mermaid toys.
And she got the basket. And that night, when we're all in the hotel room, she texts Julie.
Yeah,
right?
I got that. Yeah.
And she said, thank you.
Yeah, she said, thank you. Hope that we like the show. And then a couple days later, she sent me a picture of Pumpkin with the Little Mermaid toy, which I thought was so cute. Like, so nice of her. Like, she didn't need to do any of that, really. But
so sweet.
The fact that she acknowledged it and then actually a couple days later took a picture and sent it to me was pretty cool. But yeah, so fun.
I love it.
And
I remember we had taken a picture.
Yeah, and every once in a while.
We had taken a picture and put it in there.
Oh yeah, we had a picture of ourselves in the little card that I sent with the basket.
So I remember we got there super early to the theater that night, I think because of the basket. So we were some of the first people there. We had to wait and wait and wait for them to even open the doors. But, they finally did. And then in the lobby, they were selling a few Addams Family items. I don't think they were selling very much, were they? Because we would have bought more if they had. They had mugs.
Yes.
And they had water bottles. So Jen and Julie got a mug and I got a water bottle. And they say, let's see, something Addams Family. Okay. Star Theatricals.
5-star.
It has the dates. It has the Addams Family new musical comedy. And then it says, black is such a happy color, Morticia Addams.
I love that it has the Morticia quote on it.
Because that's who Terry played. She was Morticia, yes. And then as we were waiting to go in, there was like a photo op thing. So we did that.
Yeah.
And Julie spotted some celebrities. That was very exciting. You want to tell them who you saw?
Terry's parents were there. Yes. And for some reason, you guys didn't recognize them.
No.
Why would we?
Because it's Terry's parents.
Yeah.
Is that weird that I know how they look like? She shows photos and stuff.
They were never in cameos on Lois and Clark, so it's
okay.
Like, do I know? I don't know.
That's
But
true.
yes, that was very exciting to see them in the lobby. Now, because her parents were there, that made it a little sad later because we tried to maybe meet up with, well, not meet up with, but all the cast afterwards would come out, and as they were leaving, they would come out, and there were some autographs happening. We were really hoping to get to see Terry, but we think that because her parents were there that night, she had other plans.
Yes, she did.
That's cool.
Yes.
But as a result, when we were waiting to meet Terry, there was someone else there was like really only one other person who was kind of waiting in the wings with us for Terry in this one specific spot. And her name was Lauren Robeck. We didn't know this at the time, but this was her co-star in Midlove Crisis, which I had just watched on Hallmark or Lifetime. I don't remember. First, we were just looking back and forth at each other like, oh, you're waiting for someone too. We're waiting, But then we kind of started talking, and we ended up, as we were leaving, we were talking to Lauren, and she's like, oh, she's casually mentions, oh yeah, we just did a movie together. And we were all kind of like, oh my gosh, this girl has been in Cats and Dogs. She was recently in the Murdoch Murders, the movie. I follow her on social media. She follows back. She's super kind, super lovely. So because of Terry, we got to meet this lady who was in a movie with her. So
yeah, and she was super nice because I messaged her because really when we had met her, she just said that she was in a movie. She didn't say what movie. And then later on, I was like, oh, wait, I think she was from that. And we verified that, yes, she was from Midlife Crisis. So we found that out after.
The cast of the Addams Family, of course, Terry Hatcher was Morticia Addams. Edward Stoudemire was Gomez Addams. Uncle Fester was delightfully played by Andrew Metzger. Wednesday Addams was played by Janelle Villas. Pugsley Addams was played by Leander Lewis. Grandma, played by Samantha Wynn Greenstone, another hilarious performance.
She was fantastic.
Is hilarious. Yes. I have followed her ever since this show because she was so good.
Oh, really?
She's hilarious. I recommend.
And she's actually like a young role woman,
in this. Yeah, she's a young woman.
Played the grandma to perfection, yes. And Lurch was played by Aaron LaPlante. Then you had the, I want to say, Beinecke family. Was that the other family that Wednesday was trying to marry into during the play? The Beinecke family. All right, so we had the three people in that family were played by Benjamin Perez, Trisha Repier, and Tristan Turner. And then there were a whole bunch of Addams ancestors. I won't name them all. We do have to say there was a understudy for Morticia named Bernadette Bentley, and I'm sure she's a great actress, but boy, I'm glad Terry was doing her job.
I would
have on stage.
I would have died if we got the understudy. I just remember I was anxious because it's happened to me with her. It happened to me with Cabaret when I went to one matinee. Matinees scare me now because her understudy was there and I broke down in tears. I was like, no, I don't want to see this person. I want to see Terry.
Now, as we discussed back in our I've Got a Crush on You episode, Terry Hatcher can sing, and she did very much in this musical. She was great, and she had some jokes in there that I think were written especially for her. Some real and spectacular sorts of things. I think that was the one I remember, but I feel like there was another one, maybe a desperate
There was a housewife
illusion.
Yeah, there was a housewife joke.
She was beautiful. She was very, I'm not saying she's not now, like there was, but this was, 4 years ago. Very physically fit and was doing dancing and leg kicks and all kinds of moves. I mean, we know she has a dancing history. Julie's mentioned that. So
she did a full tango in it. And then obviously the Death is Just Around the Corner whole song. I love that song. It's hilarious. When she's dancing with the Grim Reaper.
It was a wonderful night, and I think I will never say no to Julie again when she tries to get me to go to a Terry Hatcher performance. Because
so Terry needs to star in another one so that we can all go.
That's the thing, really. I mean, hopefully she'll find another role that she can get into, and we can go together and have another fun time.
This is where I dropped the mug. It's not important, but for our sake, we have to remember R.I.P. mug.
Yeah.
The first mug that I bought, I was talking and walking up some stairs at the same time, and it just doesn't go when I will trip on a piece of glitter on the floor, or there was a loud
surprisingly, this
crash.
mug has lasted 3 years.
I know.
But I'm really afraid right now that she's going to drop it, so put it down gently. Put it down.
Well,
okay.
What I remember is that you made a comment that you were afraid you were going to break it or that you were going to drop it or something. And literally within 10 seconds, I hear crash. Mug broken into 7,000 pieces on the floor. And I was like, Jen.
It's true. I'm really good at jinxing myself.
What else? Anything? WB tour was great. We got to see the Daily Planet. Of course, the Globe isn't there anymore. There is one reference to Lois and Clark in that entire place.
And we had to search hard to find anything. I mean, what the heck, Warner Brothers? Come on.
Warner Brothers is shameful, would like to say that.
Shame
We
on
paid good
you.
money to go there, but we found it. There is a museum with a kiosk with buttons with multiple levels that you have to push, but if you push enough buttons, you will see a picture of Terry Hatcher.
One picture.
That's right.
One
And it
picture.
Tiny.
That's it. Just the one.
Tiny little
Teeny
thing.
little picture.
Like a
Julie took some
2x2.
photos of the picture. You can trust that.
did.
Definitely.
Yeah, but the tour,
Better
I
than
mean,
nothing,
the
though.
tour was cool. I mean, we got to see a lot of things like on New York Street and the brownstone. Like we saw Lois's apartment, the Daily Planet, the lagoon,
The fountain.
the fountain,
The lagoon.
Fountain, yeah.
Central Park.
If you
Centennial
like
Park
Friends.
or
Ce-
Central,
Central-
whichever it is.
We saw
Gilmore Girls.
Central Park and Centennial Park. There you go.
Yes, the same thing.
Yes,
The Friends stuff was pretty cool too, I will say.
it was.
I got to have
And the little cafe
the
that
little
they
cafe
have.
with the food.
Yeah,
I got
and
to
they
have
had
a
a-
trifle, Rachel's trifle.
And I had some cheesecake off the floor.
And they had like a forced perspective table where you could sit like you were a hobbit and a wizard, and you could one of you looked
Oh,
big and one of you
yeah.
looked small. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
And
they
there
had-
was a gift shop with some Superman
Mhm.
stuff, but not
Yes.
a whole lot. But you got something, didn't you, Jules? Superman.
I bought a Smallville t-shirt. It wasn't Smallville, but it was like the
Oh.
Kent Farm kind of. Yeah.
Oh,
The Camp
okay.
Farms.
Sure.
Mhm.
Mm.
But yeah, there wasn't really.
I got a Fuller House sticker.
I got a hat, which makes my head itch.
I think
I will.
Oh no.
We will put photos from our little adventure, including some that we took inside the theater when we were allowed, and maybe a couple pictures of the program too, because I'm gonna share it with you guys on our socials. So look for that.
Yay. Can really briefly, I just have to say, Hopper, do not ever use Hopper. You let us
Oh.
down. To this day, they never refunded us because we had everything booked. We had the airline, everything was like prearranged, hotel and car rental. We get to the car rental place and they say we don't have that we had canceled the car rental. We did not cancel the car rental. Anyway, it's a long story. I fought with Hopper for probably 2 or 3 months. They refused to give me my money back. And so like I swore I was going to give them a bad review, but now my review is out there for the world to know. Here, please do not use Hopper. Hopper, if you're listening, reach out to me if you want to make things right. But man, I'm not happy with you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Please come back for our next episode, the conclusion to this exciting one. It is Season 1, Episode 21, The House of Luthor.
Wait a minute. How do I find you?
You can find us on Instagram or Blue Sky as Folks Forever. That's FOLCSFOREVER. Or you can visit our website at folksforeverpod.wixsite.com/podcast. And until next time, please enjoy this bonkers little ditty.
Lex Luthor wakes up and chooses crime, buys the planet, yeah, that's a bad sign. Trust me, Lex says rich and smug, then boom! He blows it up, what a lug! Frames poor Jack like it's casual fun. Lex Luthor zero chill since episode 1. He bought the paper, then blew it sky high. Blamed an innocent man and looked Lois in the eye. Money, power, diamonds too. But girl, that man is super bad news. Whoa, whoa, Meanwhile, Clark spiraling quietly. Moral compass set to anxiety. Lois, he's evil, please believe. She says, Clark, breathe. Then Clark blurts with quiet grace, I'm in love with you, right to her face. She freezes up, gives the softest blow. I just see you as a friend, you know. Proof that one hurt. She likes him kind, she likes him sweet, but not romantically. Oh, tragedy. He saves the world, he saves the day. But Lois Lane swerved Clark Kent anyway. Now Lex drops down on one rich guy knee. Engagement ring the size of a small country. Lois says, hold on, on. I need to see what Superman feels, hypothetically. Cue the cape, cue the scene. Peak 90s romance magazine. She says, I love you, big blue guy. Even if you couldn't even fly, I'd love you powerless, plain and shy. Except, Clark just tried. But shh, logic has left the chat. This episode does not care about that. Superman's torn to a noble pain. I can't be with you, says the man of restraint. Duty calls, Cape turns away, and Lois' heart breaks in the most cinematic way. So what's a girl with feelings to do? She turns back to the man in the evil suit. Lex smiles like he's already won, because of course she accepts. What have you done? The planet trouble. Jack's brain bad. Clark's in love and feels real sad. Superman says no. Fate says yikes. And Lois says yes to a walking red flag in a tie. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. Ooh, oh, oh. Lex wins the round, but not the war. Clark stands there broken heart on the floor. And somewhere the truth is screaming loud. Lois, you literally just turned him down.